Yeshua, Ilegua, come out, Papa Legba, Yeshua, Ilegua, come out, Papa Legba, Yeshua, Ilegua, come out. 'Cause this is our land. Yes, we was here first. They came here on a boat. They'll leave here in a hearse. They'll leave here through the dirt. They're going through the earth. We're channeling their ancestors to undo their hurt. 'Cause once upon a time, we all could read and write. That legalises lies. Strong men spell cursive ties. Strong men all caps disguise. They've gentrified our lives. We've redefined their sights. We've redefined their kind. Yes, this is juju music. This shit here is voodoo music. This shit here is voodoo music. When you chant, they gonna lose it. Yes, this is juju music. This shit here is voodoo music. Yes, this shit is voodoo music. When you chant, they gonna lose. When you chant, they gonna lose. Which ancestor you gon' choose? Play their game, but by our rules. I'm Queen Annie the Maroon. I am Queen of Dongo. I am Queen of Zinga. I am Yenaga. I'm Carlotta and Fermina. 'Cause this is juju music. This shit here is voodoo music. When you chant, they gonna lose. Which ancestor you gon' choose? 'Cause this is juju music. This shit here is voodoo music. When you chant, they gonna lose. Which ancestor you gon' choose? 'Cause I am a goddess. I am a priestess. I chant these mantras and they all repeat it. If we make a promise, this land we gon' seize it. Get vengeance for Mother Earth treason. This for the gentrifiers. This for the gentrifiers. This for the gentrifiers. This for the gentrifiers. Repetition of empires. Invading land with gunfire. Slavery not posters for hire. Income not what you desire. Outcome working jobs for hours. Mindset waiting to retire. Never stop working for dollars. 'Cause this is juju music. This shit here is voodoo music. Which ancestor you gon' choose? When you chant, they gonna lose. 'Cause this is juju music. This shit here is voodoo music. Which ancestor we gon' choose? When we chant, they gonna lose. Ashe, I mean. My spirit guides come in with that sin. My ancestors defend. I got that juice to transcend. Hey, ashe, I mean. My spirit guides come in with that sin. My ancestors defend. I got that juice to transcend. 'Cause I am a Santi. I am a Sata. I am a host. I am a homie. I am a Tamba. Yes, I am a Tamba. 'Cause I am a Santi. I am a Sata. I am a host. I am a homie. I am a Tamba. Yes, I am a Tamba. Yes, this is juju music. This shit here is voodoo music. When we chant, they gonna lose. Which ancestor we gon' choose? Hey, choose. 'Cause when we chant, they gonna lose. Which ancestor we gon' choose?
Mess with the wrong witch, and she knows it. And now you know
Peace, peace, y'all. Welcome to the Cosmic Nobodies Conversation with your girl Sunshine Monet L. Excuse me, because y'all know the retrograde be retrograde for a goddess. But I appreciate y'all for tuning in and being in alignment with us today. I felt like that song was a perfect song because Mercury is in retrograde right now, so we allowing that slow down for us to catch up on our health, wellness, and daily routine. In addition to that, I have a wonderful goddess that is going to be sharing this platform with me for the next few moments. And I'm just a big fan of the energies that she chooses to invoke, the ancestors that she chooses. Um, and then the energy she invokes in a room with her performances and the other things that she do. Now, I'm not going to take space to introduce her too much. I really want you guys to get a sense of her essence and what it is that she does. So without further ado, I'm going to bring Ordna to the stage. There we go.
Everyone. Thank you, Sunny. I love this. I am honored to be here. I love the song and your new album. And yeah, so I definitely feel the Virgo vibes, like you said, your daily ritual and like your health and um yes. I am Orna. I have a astrofeminist oracle where I'm doing astrology readings for individuals and also couples, lovers, synastry, and composite charts. I am a yogi and I'm an artist and I make music. I have a song coming out that's like a daddy healing where my friend is gonna do it with me, Kelly Shanayala, and we're working on that. It's a hip hop yoga practice, healing, and I love the Cosmic Nobodies concept because I've been thinking a lot about failure recently, just like as an artist and this like Chiron and Aries, like the wound is like I don't have the right to exist and just living the artist's life, and like doing what you're passionate about, but there's a lot of really hard realities and harsh realities right now. And yeah, also like a great composting, and I love what you're doing and how you can be positive but speak the truth because I strive to do that as well.
Deep though, I felt that the first time our vibes connected. I believe it was at a retreat in and it just kept going from there. And I really appreciate you coming out to the Cosmic Nobodies Convention last year, and all the alignments that we've had, showing up for each other ever since. This has been like a really awesome alignment. Um, so I want to talk more about you and your journey here at Cosmic Nobodies. We try to shed light on our star seeds, our Cosmic Nobodies, our individuals out here doing everything. You know what I mean? And I'm sure you do a little bit of everything everywhere, as I've experienced some of your facets. So let's talk about Orna. Where does your name come from? Is this the first title you've given yourself? What is your journey through the titles you've given yourself that led you to Orna?
Yeah, I had many, I was always taking aliases. I did change my name formally at one point, but then I never really, I was always just like, keep changing it, but then I was like, Orna is my spiritual name really when I was beginning this hip hop yoga path and calling it that and was just listening to a lot of really mainstream music, and took the name Orna and felt it had a lot of such a multiplicity of meanings and was kind of about my my wounded healer journey too, of just like this self doubt or like something, where I feel like my Chiron and Gemini and like that experience of the voice and also the duality. of words and the mind and how like that's the wound is in there. So I feel like that's all related to Orna. And yeah, I kind of kept it as I moved into astrology, which has just been kind of like, yeah, my passionate way of healing myself, really. And then it feels just like natural to share that. And, you know, I have a lot of Scorpio energy, so it's a lot of like crash and burn and then rebirth. And it's like understanding that was so much like just a lot of tears, but also, yeah, it's an experience for me. And I feel like seeing the heights of what, you know, this world could be and like the higher aspect of Scorpio versus the lower, but then seeing the lower so clearly everywhere, which I feel like is the Scorpio energy. It's like becoming very just like enclosed because all you can see is like the worst aspects of humanity, like in yourself and everyone else. It's so glaring, you know, and your extremes are so deep, but you know, that can make you very closed off and just so the high, like the elevated Scorpio, the Phoenix kind of rising above, having that higher perspective and like the rebirth. Right now we're in the rebirth, you know, I appreciate that. It's Aries season, so I'm like, let's just jump in, share where we're at, you know.
I love that, and I can align with that. Like the more I learned about my charts, the more like it helped me gain like grounding in my experience and my energy exchanges with other people. And that's why I got into, teaching about energy awareness and the importance of it, because it's like, even if you don't want to get into the astrological concept of it, you could just get into like chemical equations or physics or whatever, and just pay attention to like, okay, this kind of, frequency or these kind of, chemical makeups or whatever, they cause me to do this, and this affects that, and whatever, what have you. It's just like having that level of awareness, like really assists in how you align and how you repel. Because you're going to align, repel in different people, places, things, situations, regardless. But when you know the why behind it, and you know the science and the stars and the numbers behind it, it's like, I knew that was going to happen anyway. So it's cool.
Yeah.
And I'm being a Scorpius energy as a Virgo. All of my draconic chart, all my Virgo placements are Scorpio. So I feel like when I meet Scorpios, it's kind of like a soul experience that I'm having.
Mm-hmm.
So what got you into doing the astrological readings for other people?
Yeah, well, you know, I think that's been part of like my journey and like my crash and burn of like I've always just been this artist that's doing a lot of collaboration, but then it didn't really have a consistency, and the yoga was never like a consistent income for me. So I wanted to just do something I could do individually and have a lot of freedom about it. Like I just feel like my energies are spread too thin, you know, in terms of my work, which is also Chiron and Gemini, but I feel, you know, the beginning of my work was always like really almost wanting to just help other people heal, and I was going to major in psychology, but I opened the book and like the first page was just like pure sexism, and so I like transferred to women's studies and just became this crusader that's like, now I'm going to use art to heal the world, you know, but it's just like I feel like I keep falling flat on my face and being like, yeah. So astrology, it's like part of me is, I want to control and know, and astrology gives me a lot of tools, yeah, to anticipate. It gives you like a certain power, you know, but also it's like, yeah, just very humbling because it's so heart opening. And so like I'm healing myself just giving other people's readings. Like I gave someone's dad a reading. I did my dad's chart. Like, you know, it's allowing me to see like the multiplicity of people and how all those energies are within me as well, and kind of forgive and, you know, have that, it's like the brother, father, son healing process too with me with the masculine. Aries is like the solar eclipse healing the masculine wounds, you know, because it's like all we see is toxic masculinity, toxic masculinity. A lot of women do that just to survive. I don't want to have to do that just to exist, you know. So it's like bringing back the feminine magic and the love and the presence, you know. And I think I can connect with people much deeper through astrology. And it was just weird. Like the only thing I started talking with people about was astrology, you know, like it's like this is how I'm communicating right now, and it's sort of like everyone gets into it, you know, and people are really into it right now too. So
I agree with that. When you have something that you could talk about and it becomes your language, and it feels like it should have been your first language, that's how you know you really stepped into your vortex, your power. So I totally get it because I be talking in numbers and cards and astrology all in one. And I definitely feel you on the psychology realm. I actually did go to school for psychology, and being in that field and seeing how like it is no better than any other Western medicine sector, where the goal is to keep you coming back, keep you returning. So to do that, they have to keep you weak minded and feel like you need to keep calling me in the middle of the night, and you know you're not. And I was more for empowering. You know, I want to empower people. I don't. If I see you again, I want to see you because you're taking me out to lunch and you're empowered energy. You just want to share energy with me, not because I had this therapist for 6 years still coaching you the things that I've been coaching you on since day one and playing with medicines and stuff like that. So that's what kind of turned me off with the psychology department. It's not about empowering. It's about keeping you a weak client or a weak customer. And that's not my goal. So that's what brought me into, like, I take my psychological concepts and I realized how much of that was stolen from astrology to begin with. They just changed the terms and the titles to different things, but essentially they are talking about astrological makeup, and they're talking about the chakras and how the chakras are affected. So it was just like, oh, so you stole knowledge. The key people in this place, like, I can't do this. But I do take, you know, because when I do go into the, you know, 3D world or whatever, I do take their jargon. Like, I'll use y'all jargon on y'all and still get my point across and still empower you, you know, mission accomplished. So that's where I find like my power and control with the astrology and being, you know, my liking whenever I want. I play with my elements. And I like that you talk. What I really, really love about you is how empowering you are to feminine energy. It's like you empower feminine energy without it being masculine. And I absolutely adore the fact that you incorporate your baby into your presentations and your art, and you're normalizing an empowered feminine being to your son. I think that is, when I saw that, I like, my eyes watered a little bit because I got two boys. And I see it a lot in my paradigm around men. Women have hid the empowered feminine energy from men to where like they don't believe it exists, and when they do see it exist, they try to stomp it out because it's foreign to them. And so the fact that you are bringing up your son in your presentations and things, I would like for you to elaborate how, like, you know, what made you want to incorporate your son in the things that you do, and how has that journey been, you know, as a mother?
yeah, I mean, that's such a great question. And it's like such a complicated question too, you know, because in some ways I feel like it just was happening and was almost like, oh, you know, when I got pregnant, I was really performing a lot and part of this collective Go Push Pops. And I felt like almost like cameras are on me, like, you know, but I also felt like as a mother, so celebrated. Like it was such a positive experience to have so many, you know, female friends that are artists, and we're just in it together with me, and it was a really beautiful experience, you know. And I think, again, I learned for me, Cancer rising, that's a big part of, that's what I'm learning in this lifetime, is like celebrating the power of motherhood, which is the ultimate power, you know. And like I love that we can think about, you know, the lunar calendar of like, even when we use Western astrology, it's like we know it's sort of not real, and this kind of illusion of patriarchy too, right? Or when we use it in this way, because, you know, yeah, in the past you couldn't be a doctor without reading the stars, and like you wouldn't be a president without your astrological advisor, or your, you know, a king would be like, it was so intertwined. And that's why, yes, when we go to the hospital and become a mother, like we're fighting a war against our own, you know, this system, just to like have that autonomy as a mother. And that became a huge part of my journey, is like understanding birth justice, and also from a more naturalist yogi perspective, like how you just have to unlearn so much to actually have this proper experience in being a mother. But I did have a lot of tools, you know, and sometimes I've intentionally involved Kali. And like from when he was born, it was like we were the hip hop yoga family, you know, and I've just been on my journey making art. Sometimes he's just there because I don't have childcare. You know, people accuse me of fetishizing my baby. Like, I have haters, you know, and also it's like I'm just living my life in the internet age, working, you know. I'm not, you know, like trying to be a famous rapper, and, you know, people see me in all different contexts, but I feel that's been a huge part of my journey. And, you know, I'm planning to have more babies, and I think it's just a powerful thing. You know, my Lilith and my Scorpio energy is just like, I feeling safe and celebrating like my power as a mother and all that privilege I have to do so as a Western woman, you know, as a woman with white privilege, but especially as someone in America right now. And, you know, it's like you can, for doing performances like that, if like women were arrested and put in prison, or, you know, just the certain freedoms that we have, like I feel like it is essential to wield those freedoms, as weird, you know, and fucked up as this world is, and all the implications of just, there's a lot of, you know, sex negativity, and like, or even worries, like I don't want Kali's friends to judge him if their parents are judging me, you know, like there's these layers. And I've had friends lose jobs for being a performance artist, or, you know, black sheep of your whole family, because it's like, it's so many implications when you're kind of reclaiming female sexual power, when we've been so repressed culturally, and like the influence of religion. But when you're just living this Lilith story, and I'm the martyr heretic, I'm the, you know, manifesting generator martyr heretic. So it's like I have to keep crying this story that no one really believes me, but like I'm so in it. And there's this kind of quality of that outsider strength, you know. At the same time, it's like, okay, this is difficult, you know, it's difficult to be a mother and an artist, like, and yeah, I think it just goes back to like walking our path, knowing nature. But it's beautiful. It's a beautiful experience. And Kali is an amazing, like, young hip hop yogi, you know, and he's my, you know, my definitely biggest creation, and it's such a joy.
Yes, I love Kylie so much. You know, when we hung out, I was like, oh my goodness, okay, little cousin, it. We out here. Okay. So like, kudos to you, mommy. You are doing a good job. And I understand the being an artist and a mother being so difficult because of the world that we live in, that they want us to be hyper masculine, like you said, for survival. And it's like, I don't want to be. I don't want to be. I want to be an empowered feminine, and I want that to be enough. And it should be enough. And to be creative and try to express yourself. And then sometimes you want to color out the lines, and it gets a no, no, no. You get the tap on the hand. I'm also a manifester. I'm an informer. So it's like, cool, we're sitting in our divine spaces. And it is kind of difficult because, just the way that we've been taught, an adult is supposed to behave, a woman, yourself being a white woman, myself being, a woman of color, like these different boxes that they put us in. And then they say, well, if you're in your box, integrate with the other boxes. You know what I mean? With you in this box, you got to stay in these four corners. We know from astrology, we don't want the 90-degree angles. That's you got us inside of challenges that like we don't need. So we come back out into the spirals, that's that Fibonacci flow of things. And so kudos to you for being the martyr and setting a tone and being so inspirational to different people alike. Even if you're triggering them into anger, you're still opening up their mind to you, to an existence that they didn't even think existed before. You know what I'm saying? And then it's also like really divine how like, I don't know how you go about it, but sometimes I beat myself up in my head about what I'm doing. And then I'll have conversations with my boys, and it's like, these kids came out of your body. They were in your womb. To think that your sons wouldn't come out totally supporting whatever it is that you want to do. Like, maybe later on in life, if life pulls them into different directions, cool, whatever. But like, we're such divine feminine energy. It's like your children literally are here for you. You know what I'm saying? It's like sometimes, and I feel bad for people who don't have that kind of flow, but it's very apparent you have that flow. It's very apparent. Your son has come to embody what is the message and the thing that you also convey. He will definitely be carrying on, and I love that. I want to talk more about your musical performance. What influences your music? And I love like the props and the it's not just music you do. You have like a whole presentation or like a theater type presentation that you do. And please, could you tell everybody like what inspires you when in your performances and in your music?
Yeah. I guess it just sort of got to this place. Like, I did my yoga teacher training in 2011, and I was in grad school, and I just, at that time, I felt I was really getting into hip hop because, living in this city is just like so around in this very potent way, and was more in the scene of Brooklyn around that time too. And like initially felt like hip hop and yoga were very different, but then as I learned and just like connected the dots and like my own therapeutic journey was like, no, it's all about hip hop yoga, and it's like, yes, I will talk about my white privilege, but I don't really see myself as white when I understand like being Italian and being Irish, colonized people my ancestors were not white. And so it's like to even not acknowledge that, like, yes, we need to talk about whiteness, but for me, hip hop is just very healing. And, I was doing the hip hop yoga retreats and, just really needing to write my own songs and use that as a tool of expression. That's been so empowering. So I kind of just, will write something that I need to say, and then I will perform it, and I will do yoga, but kind of mix it with hip hop dance a little bit. And, it's just this kind of fluid, organic expression that has been like a bricolage of many influences. But, I've also seen since that time, like, hip hop yoga is a thing. Like, it's become like a way to connect to other people, just as now, astrology, it's like these networks form of people trying to create something new. And that's brought a lot of beautiful collaborations into my life, but then again, it's like I got to a certain place where I'm like, I really need to just only do me, or in a certain way. So I created things, and a sort of performance practice that's just been fun, and yeah, I love doing the Cosmic Nobodies thing this summer, and I think when it's used as this tool of like storytelling and community, as it truly is, and when you're not too invested in the capitalist dream, or just the like, I feel like, yes, Instagram is a beautiful tool, but it encourages so much of like the narcissism and the lack of community that like a lot of the younger generations increasingly forget. Like, what is hip hop about? Like, peace, love, unity, and having fun, And so it's like, and it is about connecting to other people and authenticity, and like jousting, right, mentally. And there is a lot of beauty, and I have my fifth house son. So I love being a part of that, and I have been around performing. And so I just know people. I know Sunshine, and other like MCs. And sometimes we just come together. Yeah.
I'm definitely here for the unity. And I too, I really love the portals when we walk in our purpose. The portals that open for us is like sometimes it gets overwhelming because it's like, I'm a big I'm led by the sun. I'm a Leo rising and I hit big energy and sometimes I get big. So like when I cry, it's like a release because I feel so overwhelmed. It's like a really big like burst of happiness. Like, yo, like I'm really in a room with people like that share frequencies and like we're doing music and it's healing. It's not hurting anybody. It's love. We feel like a lot of love in the room. It's a big feeling. And it is important for us to keep community, especially with, our youth growing up in this virtual reality of things. To have, a nice balance of both is essential because a lot of our children are going to this virtual reality for validation of their existence and their uniqueness, and they're not going to find it there. So it's important that we create these foundations in the physical and we surround each other and support each other. Like, I love the fact that Callie comes to your events, regardless of the reason. I try to bring my sons to as many events as I can because I want them to see the community. This does exist. We exist in the physical. The virtual is cool and everything, but that is still a void there. And to have, our hip hop culture, our, astrological cosmic nobody culture surrounding our youth and watching them grow up in that, I'm interested to see the stories they're going to tell when someone interviews them and tells them to tell their story of what brought them to wherever they end up. You know what I mean? So it's these moments and these events and things, they're so much bigger than us, especially when we have our babies in the room. It's very important. So you teach yoga? Is there a place where you teach yoga regularly?
Yes. So I teach at Urban Asana in Crown Heights, and it's a beautiful yoga studio with lots of plants. It's the first Black female-owned yoga studio in the area, and it's a Monday 9:30 a.m. and a Friday 5 p.m. Urban Community Flow. So it's open level, anyone can take it. And it's a really fun community too. They do a lot of events. with like live music and healing workshops. You know, if you ever want to do a workshop there, it's a great place.
Oh yeah, I'll definitely be in alignment. I got to make one of those classes. Definitely, I'm trying to get my dexterity back in my legs. So I'll definitely be communicating with you about that. And you said it's urban asana. Is that what it's called?
It's asana.
Oh, urban asana.
In
Gotcha.
my Instagram bio, you can do it from live stream, and yeah, and you can go to in-person classes.
Okay, even better. You know, because my work schedule be crazy on that 9 a.m. joint, so I can get out there and then catch you on physical on Friday. I got you. All right, that's awesome. And you said you had a music project coming up. To close us on out, we want to tell us like anything else we should be looking for and happy events you got coming up. Any way we can support you on your journey, anything you need from the collective to help you. This is the space time. Just let it all out. We're here for it.
Yeah, well, I would say I'm really passionate about doing lovers synastry, and I'm doing one right now. I also have a cousin getting married, and I'm doing her lover's synastry, which is just very typical in many cultures where you would do the astrology chart when you're getting married. But I'm learning so much, and I'm also working a lot with the feminist asteroids to kind of correct Western astrology. And I really like those principles and like Juno and just the concept of looking at all the layers of like sacred sexual alchemy and, you know, the highest possibilities. So yeah, I would love to do more lovers synastry, and that's kind of the takeaway from the Astro Feminist Oracle, Midheaven Orna.
I love that. You know, when I get into chart readings, I feel myself, I want to go towards life and death. I don't like, I love focusing on like when a baby is coming into the world, what their placements are, and like how they're affecting the placements in the house, and then in spaces of death, like the energy they're bringing into the, you know, into the soil with them. I found myself like, you know, concentrated in those spaces. So it was cool to hear like you. I hear like usually when I hear people doing like tarot and astrology, it's no focus. It's kind of like I want to do everything and be everywhere and stuff like that. But I get like divine confirmations when people are like, I do astrology, but I like to focus on these things and I like to focus on those things. And I think that's fly. I also find myself be opening up to more like mental disabilities. Like I've started finding the correlation between the Western diagnosis and the DSM with people's astrological charts. And so seeing those things kind of help me like recorrelate, you know, how to empower yourself and how to, you know, cope in the world. So and then when I get into my charts, the way I don't know specifically, I forget specifically, it's running away from my mind, but my concentration is on people that are ostracized from society, hospitalizations and jails and stuff like that. So even in my charts to even be in those realms of hospital and separation and stuff like that. So I feel myself going there. And I want to say thank you for your time. Thank you for your space. Thank you for this knowledge. Greatly, greatly appreciate it. You guys make sure you follow her on Instagram. You guys can type in or not on Instagram to find her. Click on the bio for her hip hop yoga class. Follow her to stay in tune with her music, the events that she has coming up, and the different, you know, ways that you can contribute to her events and the things that she has going on, because this goddess really does big, outstanding, phenomenal things. And y'all really want to pull up to a performance. I promise you, you want to pull up to a performance. Thank you again, goddess. I appreciate you for having me. Peace to everyone that's been viewing. Thank you guys for your time and your interest in the comments. And that's all I have for you today.
Okay. Are you gonna
didn't catch that.
Did you record?
Yes, this is on YouTube. I want to say it's on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter right now. So yes, we out here.
All right. Awesome. Thank you. Astrology